Did you know that right now, as you watch this video, there's a silent war going on inside your body? A battle between the foods you ate today and your brain's ability to receive oxygen overnight. And the shocking thing is, you may be feeding the enemy without even realizing it. Imagine for a moment this situation: you're sleeping peacefully, but your brain is literally suffocating, deprived of the oxygen it needs to function, repair itself, and consolidate your memories. This isn't science fiction, it's the cruel reality for millions of people around the world who suffer from sleep apnea, and many of them don't even know that some seemingly harmless foods in their kitchens are the real culprits behind this oxygen deprivation. According to recent studies, more than 1 billion people worldwide suffer from some degree of sleep apnea, and about 80% of cases go undiagnosed. This means that for every 10 people you know, at least 2 experience blocked airways during the night, causing them to stop breathing, repeatedly, some interrupting. They're breathing more than 300 times a night. Each time this happens, the brain panics, sending emergency signals to the body to wake up, even if only for a fraction of a second. It's as if someone were waking you up every 2 minutes throughout the night, but you don't remember because it happens at such a deep level that your consciousness doesn't even register it. But here's what will shock you even more. There are 4 specific foods you probably consume regularly that are making this situation dramatically worse. These foods act as true saboteurs of your sleep, increasing inflammation in your airways, producing excess mucus, altering your hormones, and creating the perfect environment for your throat to collapse during the night. And worst of all, many of them are marketed as healthy or are part of most people's daily diets. Have you ever woken up feeling like a truck had run over you, or noticed that even after 8 hours of sleep, you still feel exhausted? Perhaps you have trouble concentrating at work, feel constantly irritable, or have gained weight for no apparent reason. These are just the visible symptoms of a condition that is silently destroying your quality of life and putting your health at serious risk. Oxygen deprivation during sleep doesn't just affect how you feel the next day, it's literally shortening your life expectancy. People with untreated sleep apnea are up to 4 times more likely to have a stroke, 3 times more likely to develop heart disease, and twice as likely to develop type 2 diabetes. But there is hope, and that's why you need to watch this video until the end. Just as there are 4 foods that are your silent enemies, there are also 4 powerful foods that can revolutionize the quality of your sleep and dramatically increase the amount of oxygen your brain receives throughout the night. These foods act as true natural medicines, reducing inflammation, clearing airways, regulating hormones, and creating the ideal conditions for restful, oxygenated sleep. Imagine a person who for years woke up every morning feeling as if she'd run a marathon overnight. She tried everything: changing pillows, buying a new mattress, even considering surgery. But real transformation only happened when she discovered which foods were sabotaging her efforts and which could be her allies. In just 3 weeks of making these dietary changes, she began getting the first full nights of sleep of her adult life. Today, she wakes refreshed with energy to face the day. And most importantly, her brain is finally getting the oxygen it needs to function at its peak potential. The truth is, the food industry has no interest in telling you about this connection between food and sleep quality. There's a lot of money involved in keeping you consuming precisely the foods that harm your respiratory health. But today, you'll discover the raw truth about what really happens to your body when you consume these 4 sabotaging foods, and more importantly, how 4 specific foods can become your greatest allies in the fight for restful nights and energized days. If you've reached this video, it's no accident. You're probably tired of waking up, fed up with feeling like your vital energy is being drained at night, and ready to finally understand what's happening to your body. Well, you're in the right place, because in the next 25 minutes, you'll discover information that could literally save your life and restore your vitality. Before we continue, I want to invite you on a journey of true transformation. If you've been struggling with morning exhaustion, if you feel like you're only living a fraction of your energetic potential, or if you simply want to ensure you're giving your brain the oxygen it deserves at night, then you need to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. This isn't just another health channel, it's a community of people determined to reclaim their nights and consequently their lives. I know it can feel lonely when you wake up every morning feeling defeated before the day even begins. When the people around you don't understand why you're always tired, why your focus isn't the same, why you seem to have lost the energy you once had. That's why I created this space, to let you know you're not alone, and that there is a real natural solution within your reach. Each video I publish here is based on the latest scientific research on sleep and respiratory health, but explained in a way that anyone can understand and immediately apply to their lives. When you subscribe and turn on notifications, you join thousands of people who are already transforming their nights and regaining their vital energy. You'll be the first to know about new discoveries that can change your life, receive practical tips you can implement today, and become part of a community where every small victory is celebrated. In the comments of this video, I want you to share your experience. It could be something as simple as, I wake up more tired than when I go to sleep, or I feel like my brain is always in a fog. Your courage to share not only helps me create content more relevant to your needs, but also offers hope to someone who may be watching in silence, thinking they're the only one in the world experiencing this. Now let's get straight to the point, the 4 foods that are literally blocking your brain from getting oxygen at night. The first one will surprise you because it's something most people consider healthy and consume daily without realizing the damage it's causing. The first silent saboteur is refined sugar and all the foods that contain it in abundance. You may think you already know that sugar is unhealthy, but what you probably don't know is how it specifically affects your ability to breathe at night. When you consume refined sugar, especially in the 4 to 6 hours before bed, your body enters a state of systemic inflammation. This inflammation directly affects the tissues of your upper airways, including your nose, throat, and pharynx. The inflammation caused by sugar causes these tissues to swell significantly, reducing the space for air to pass through. It's as if you're trying to breathe through a straw that's getting narrower and narrower. Furthermore, sugar stimulates excess mucus production, which can partially block your nasal passages and create even more obstacles to airflow. But the problem goes far beyond physical inflammation. Sugar also causes sudden spikes and drops in blood sugar, and these fluctuations directly affect the quality of your sleep. When blood sugar levels plummet during the night, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to try to normalize the situation. These hormones keep your nervous system on high alert, preventing you from entering the deepest stages of sleep, precisely where cellular repair and adequate oxygenation of the brain occur. Imagine a person who had the habit of eating a sweet dessert every night after dinner. She felt she deserved this little reward after a hard day at work. For years, she would wake up with headaches, a puffy face, and a constant stuffy nose in the morning. When she finally eliminated refined sugar from her last meals of the day in less than a week, she began to notice that she woke up breathing better. Within a month, her morning headaches had virtually disappeared, and she discovered she could breathe through her nose all night for the first time in years. The second food that's sabotaging your nighttime oxygen levels is dairy, especially milk, cheese, and yogurt consumed in the afternoon and evening. The link between dairy and sleep-related breathing problems is one of the most significant discoveries in recent years in sleep medicine, but unfortunately, it's still little known to the general public. Dairy products contain a protein called casein, which in many people stimulates excess mucus production in the airways. This mucus isn't just that phlegmy feeling you sometimes experience, but rather a thick substance that can literally clog your airways at night. When you're awake and active, your body can better deal with this excess mucus through swallowing and movement. But when you're lying down and sleeping, especially if you sleep on your back, this mucus can build up and partially block your airway. Furthermore, many people have some degree of lactose intolerance without even knowing it. This intolerance causes intestinal inflammation that affects the entire body, including the airways. The systemic inflammation caused by dairy can cause the tissues in the throat and nasal passages to swell, further hindering nighttime breathing. There's also a significant hormonal component. Dairy products contain natural hormones and may also contain residues of synthetic hormones used in livestock farming. These hormones can affect your body's own hormonal balance, impacting your sleep quality and the regulation of nighttime respiratory functions. Imagine a person who loved drinking a glass of warm milk before bed, believing it would help her relax. For years, she struggled with intense snoring and would wake up several times a night feeling suffocated. Her partner would constantly nudge her because she would stop breathing during her sleep. When she finally decided to stop consuming dairy after 6 p.m., the transformation was so dramatic that she thought it was a coincidence. Her snoring decreased by over 70% in just 2 weeks, and for the first time in decades, she was able to sleep through the night without waking up gasping. The third sabotaging food is refined carbohydrates, especially white breads, pastas, cookies, and processed cereals eaten at dinner or as a late-night snack. These foods are particularly insidious because they're often seen as comforting and harmless. But they're actually creating a perfect storm for nighttime breathing problems. Refined carbohydrates cause dramatic insulin spikes, and elevated insulin promotes fat storage, especially in the neck and throat. This buildup of fatty tissue around the airways creates physical pressure that narrows the airway. It's like wearing a very tight collar that constricts your throat, except the pressure comes from within. Furthermore, refined carbohydrates are quickly converted into simple sugars in your body, creating the same cycle of inflammation and excess mucus production we mentioned about refined sugar. But there's an additional effect. These foods cause fluid retention, which can worsen swelling of the airway tissues during the night. Another crucial aspect is that refined carbohydrates drastically affect your sleep structure. They make it difficult for you to enter deep sleep, where most cellular recovery and adequate brain oxygenation occur. You might even sleep for 8 or 9 hours, but the quality of that sleep is so poor that your brain never receives the adequate oxygenation it needs. Imagine a person who had a habit of eating pasta or a sandwich for dinner almost every night. She would always wake up with a dry mouth, a swollen face, and a feeling like she'd been punched in the throat during the night. Her medical tests showed she was gradually gaining weight, especially around her neck, and her blood pressure began to rise unexplained. When she replaced her refined carbohydrates with vegetables and lean proteins within 3 weeks, she noticed she was waking up with significantly less facial puffiness and began to breathe more freely at night. The fourth and final sabotaging food may be the most surprising of all: alcohol. Many people use a glass of wine or a beer as a way to relax before bed, without realizing that they are literally sabotaging their ability to oxygenate their brains throughout the night. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant, and while this may help you fall asleep more easily, it drastically impacts your sleep quality. Alcohol relaxes every muscle in your body, including the muscles that keep your airways open at night. When these muscles relax excessively, your tongue and soft tissues in your throat can collapse partially or completely, blocking your airway. Furthermore, alcohol interferes with REM sleep, which is crucial for proper brain oxygenation and memory consolidation. You may think you've slept well after drinking, but in reality, your brain has been deprived of the most important stages of restorative sleep. Alcohol also causes dehydration, which thickens the mucus in your airways, making it even harder to breathe properly at night. And there's a rebound effect as alcohol is metabolized throughout the night, It can cause fragmented awakenings and even poorer sleep quality in the second half of the night. I need to pause here and ask you a life-changing question. How many nights have you spent tossing and turning, waking up, gasping for air, or feeling like you're struggling to breathe even in your sleep? How many mornings have you woken up feeling like your body fought a battle all night, leaving you more exhausted than when you went to bed? If you've ever wondered why some people wake up naturally energized while you wake up feeling like a weight is pressing down on your chest, I want you to know that it's not your imagination and it's not normal. What you're experiencing may be a direct result of these 4 sabotaging foods we just discussed. Every time you consume refined sugar, dairy, processed carbohydrates, or alcohol, especially in the hours before sleep, you're setting the stage for a night of oxygen deprivation. And this deprivation doesn't just affect how you feel the next day, it's literally affecting your ability to think, make decisions, regulate your emotions, and maintain your physical health. If anything I've talked about so far resonated with you, if you recognized your own patterns in these descriptions, I want you to leave a comment sharing your experience. It could be something like, I wake up every morning with a dry mouth and a sore throat, or I feel like no matter how many hours I sleep, I always wake up tired. Your honesty might be exactly what someone needs to hear today to understand they're not alone on this journey. But now comes the part that can truly transform your life, the 4 foods that can become your greatest allies in the fight for oxygenated nights and energized days. These foods are not only safe to consume before bed, they actively improve your ability to breathe at night and increase the quality of oxygen your brain receives. The first powerhouse food is tart cherries, especially the Montmorency variety. These small fruits are true treasures when it comes to improving sleep quality and nighttime oxygenation. Tart cherries are one of the few natural food sources of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycle. But the melatonin in tart cherries doesn't just work as a sleep aid. It has powerful anti-inflammatory properties that specifically reduce inflammation in the airways. When you consume tart cherries regularly, especially in the form of concentrated juice without added sugar, you're providing your body with natural compounds that keep your airways clear at night. Cherries are also rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that protect blood vessels and improve circulation. Better circulation means more oxygen reaches your brain during sleep. Additionally, these compounds help regulate blood pressure and reduce systemic inflammation, which can contribute to breathing problems during sleep. Imagine a person who'd been taking sleeping pills for years, but still woke up several times during the night, feeling short of breath. When she started drinking a small glass of concentrated tart cherry juice about an hour before bed, the change was astonishing. Within 2 weeks, she was sleeping longer, uninterrupted stretches. Within a month, she was able to gradually reduce her medication under medical supervision, and for the first time in years, was getting truly restful sleep. The second ally is fresh ginger. This powerful root is an extremely effective natural anti-inflammatory, especially for the respiratory system. Ginger contains bioactive compounds such as gingerol and shogaol, which have the unique ability to reduce inflammation in the airways and facilitate breathing. When you consume ginger in the hours before bed, it acts as a natural decongestant, helping to clear your nasal passages and reduce excess mucus production. This means that throughout the night, your airways remain more open and functional, allowing air to flow freely to your lungs and consequently more oxygen to reach your brain. Ginger also has properties that help relax the smooth muscles of the airways without causing the excessive collapse seen with substances like alcohol. It's a controlled relaxation that makes breathing easier rather than harder. You can make a simple tea with fresh ginger slices in hot water, sweeten with a little honey if desired, and drink it about an hour before bed. The effect is cumulative, so the more regularly you do this, the better the results. Imagine a person suffering from chronic nasal congestion that worsened dramatically at night. She tried pharmaceutical decongestants, but they made her restless and further interfered with her sleep. When she started drinking fresh ginger tea every night within a few days, she noticed she could breathe through her nose all night. Over time, she noticed she was snoring less and waking up much more rested. The third food that can revolutionize your nights is fish rich in omega-3, especially wild salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These fish contain essential fatty acids that are crucial for reducing systemic inflammation and improving respiratory function during sleep. Omega-3s have the unique ability to modulate the body's inflammatory response, specifically reducing the types of inflammation that affect the airways. When you consume these fish regularly, especially at dinner, you're providing your body with the building blocks it needs to maintain healthy, functional airways throughout the night. Additionally, omega-3 improves the fluidity of cell membranes, which facilitates gas exchange in the lungs. This means that each breath you take during sleep is more efficient at extracting oxygen from the air and delivering it to your blood and consequently to your brain. These fish are also excellent sources of lean protein, which helps stabilize blood sugar levels throughout the night. Unlike refined carbohydrates, which cause spikes and dips in blood sugar, high-quality protein keeps your energy levels stable, allowing for deeper, more restful sleep. The fourth and final ally food is dark, leafy greens, especially spinach, kale, and arugula. These vegetables are true superfoods when it comes to improving oxygenation during sleep, and the reason is fascinating. Leafy greens are extremely rich in magnesium, a mineral many people are unknowingly deficient in. Magnesium is essential for proper muscle relaxation, including the muscles in your airways. When you have adequate magnesium levels, your muscles can relax in a controlled manner during sleep, keeping your airways open without allowing them to collapse. These vegetables are also rich in natural nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a natural vasodilator that improves blood circulation and allows more oxygen to be transported efficiently throughout the body, including the brain. Additionally, leafy greens provide folate and other B vitamins, which are essential for cellular energy production and proper neurological function. When your brain receives these nutrients along with adequate oxygen during sleep, the quality of cellular recovery and repair dramatically improves. Imagine a person who started eating a large dark green salad for dinner every day. Within a few weeks, she noticed she was waking up with more mental energy and clarity of thought. Her co-workers began commenting that she seemed more alert and focused. What she didn't know at the time was that by improving her brain's oxygenation at night through these foods, she was literally boosting her cognitive capacity during the day. If you're finding this information helpful and can see how it applies to your own life, I'd love for you to comment below. This helps me understand what kind of content is most valuable to you, and it also shows others that this information can truly make a difference. Now, it's important to understand that making these dietary changes isn't just about adding or removing foods from your diet. It's about creating an internal environment conducive to adequate oxygenation during sleep. When you eliminate the 4 saboteurs we discussed, refined sugar, dairy, processed carbohydrates and alcohol, especially in the hours leading up to sleep, you're removing the barriers that prevent your body from functioning properly throughout the night. At the same time, when you add the 4 food allies, tart cherries, ginger, omega-3 rich fish, and dark leafy greens, you're giving your body the specific tools it needs to keep your airways clear, reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and ensure your brain gets the oxygen it needs to repair and regenerate throughout the night. However, there are some specific timing strategies that can maximize the benefits of these foods. For example, tart cherry juice is most effective when consumed about 60 to 90 minutes before bed. This gives the natural melatonin enough time to be absorbed and begin exerting its anti-inflammatory effects. Ginger tea should be consumed at least an hour before bed to avoid interruptions due to bathroom breaks, but close enough to bedtime so its anti-inflammatory effects are active throughout the night. You can prepare the tea more concentrated and drink a smaller amount to maximize the benefits while minimizing fluid intake. Omega-3 rich fish are ideal for dinner, preferably 2 to 3 hours before bed. This allows them to be digested properly while ensuring the fatty acids are circulating throughout your system throughout the night. If you can't eat fish regularly, a high-quality fish oil supplement may be an alternative, but always consult a healthcare professional before starting any supplementation. Dark leafy greens can be eaten at both lunch and dinner as their benefits are more cumulative and systemic. The magnesium and nitrates they contain have effects that last for several hours, so you don't need to worry as much about timing. It's also important to note that these changes work best as part of an overall lifestyle that supports sleep health. This includes maintaining a regular sleep schedule, creating a bedroom environment conducive to rest, and avoiding screens and stimulants in the hours before bed. Some people may see improvements in just a few days, especially reduced morning swelling and improved nasal breathing. Others may need several weeks to see significant changes, especially if they have more severe systemic inflammation or more complex respiratory issues. It's crucial to understand that these dietary changes are not a substitute for proper medical evaluation if you suspect you have sleep apnea. If you experience symptoms such as intense snoring, observed respiratory pauses, excessive daytime sleepiness, or frequent morning headaches, it's important to seek professional evaluation. However, these dietary strategies can be extremely complementary to any medical treatment and can significantly enhance results. Imagine a person who implemented all these changes gradually over the course of a month. In the first week, she eliminated refined sugar from her evening meals and started drinking tart cherry juice. In the second week, she eliminated dairy after 6 p.m. and added ginger tea to her nighttime routine. In the third week, she replaced refined carbohydrates at dinner with fish and leafy greens. And in the fourth week, she eliminated alcohol completely. The result was a transformation she described as waking up in a completely new body. For the first time in decades, she experienced what it truly means to have restful sleep. Now you have information at your fingertips that can literally transform your nights and revolutionize your days. The connection between nutrition and oxygenation during sleep is real, scientifically proven, and most importantly, it's completely under your control. You don't need expensive equipment, complicated medications, or invasive procedures. You just need to make conscious choices about what you put on your plate, especially in the hours before sleep. Remember that your brain uses about 20% of all the oxygen your body consumes, even during sleep. In fact, during certain stages of sleep, especially REM sleep, your brain can use even more oxygen than when you're awake. This means that anything that interferes with your ability to breathe properly at night is literally stealing fuel from your body's most important organ. When you ensure your brain receives adequate oxygen throughout the night, you're investing not only in the quality of your sleep but also in your cognitive ability, emotional stability, immune system, and overall longevity. It's one of the most important investments you can make in your health, and the results manifest in every area of your life. If this video opened your eyes to the connection between diet and sleep quality, and if you're motivated to make these changes in your own life, I want you to like this video, share it with someone who could benefit from this information, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. In the comments, tell me which of the 4 sabotaging foods you consume most often, and which of the 4 ally foods you're most excited to try. Remember, every small change you make is a step toward more oxygenated nights and more energized days. You deserve to wake up refreshed. You deserve to have the energy and mental clarity to live your life to the fullest. And now you have the tools to make that a reality. Until the next video, sleep well and breathe better.